Hello, good morning. It's been a little too long. I'm so happy to be back with you once again and time to share a message from the morning man. Now, today's message is called The Problem with Prayer. The one thing I will always remember my Uncle Sammy for is his quick temper. Everything used to set him off. There wasn't a single day he didn't get upset and yell at one person or the other. The funniest thing was that he would always mutter under his breath, "God, give me the patience. God, give me the patience." And then he would explode. And as far as I'm aware, he never once found the patience that he was praying for. He died at the age of 51 from hypertension. Now, I always wondered why God never answered his prayer and gave him patience. But as I grew and started to mutter a few prayers of my own, I discovered a rather fascinating pattern. You see, whenever I prayed for God to give me faith, he would rather put me in a situation that almost convinced me that he doesn't even exist. Whenever I prayed for money, I would suddenly find myself facing the biggest bills and debts ever. Whenever I prayed for courage, I would suddenly find myself facing the most terrifying obstacles. I remember how worried I got in 2007 when I suddenly started losing weight while feeling extremely thirsty and uncontrollably weak. Now, one night, I remember I lay in bed, I closed my eyes, and with tears streaming down my face, I begged God to heal me. The following day, I fell into a coma and was taken to hospital and didn't come home for almost half a year. Each time I prayed for something and got what appeared to be the exact opposite, I remembered my Uncle Sammy. And it baffled me that a God who loves us will not only refuse to answer our prayers, but actually give us the opposite of what we asked for. I mean, what was the idea? If he won't give me what I asked for, fair enough, but yeah, you know, he knows best and all of that. But why give me the opposite of what I was asking for? What is that about? As with most existential questions, the answer came to me from an unlikely source. The other weekend, I was watching the hilarious comedy Evan Almighty, starring Steve Carell as Evan, a U.S. congressman who received some frankly ridiculous instructions from God, played impeccably by the amazing Morgan Freeman. Now, of course, this seemingly preposterous nature of God's instructions in the movie to build an ark in the middle of Washington, it ended up testing not only Evan's faith, but the faith of his wife and his sons as well. So at some point in this movie, God has a quiet word with Evan's wife, who of course doesn't know that she's talking to God. And at this stage in the story, she's doubting the existence of God to even begin with, and also doubting the sanity of her husband. So to give her some perspective, God says something rather profound to her. He says, let me ask you something. If someone prays for patience, do you think God gives them patience, or does he give them the opportunity to be patient? If he prayed for courage, does God give him courage, or does he give him opportunities to be courageous? If someone prayed for the family to be closer, do you think God will zap them with warm, fuzzy feelings, or does he give them some opportunities to love each other? So there it was, my answer. I asked for faith, and he put me in situations where I was forced to believe. I asked for money, he sent me gargantuan bills, so I had no option but to work hard and make more money than ever, just so I could pay them. I asked for good health, and he made sure that by the time I came out of that hospital, I would never take my health for granted ever again. I asked for courage, so he fed me to the monsters, because he had already given me all the courage I could ever need. All I needed at that time was the right conditions for my courage to manifest itself. So today, I want you to do a prayer audit. First, think about all the things you've been praying for. Second, understand that God has given you everything you will ever need to answer those prayers. And third, understand that your current circumstances, no matter how dire and distressing, are simply opportunities to do what God has already created you to do, and that is to dominate. My name is Kojo Yankson, and God answered all my prayers when he created me. Now all I pray for are opportunities to prove it. Good morning, Ghana.